What's up, people viewing via YouTube? My name is Pat, otherwise known as RageRover, or RageRover42 on the PSN. Today I have essentially a pilot video. I've uploaded other videos before, but this is actually one of my in-depth videos. Basically today I'm just going to be showcasing vehicles that I have in Grand Theft Auto Online. I do plan on, in the future, making other videos revolving around cars. Now I would like for you to bear with me because this is actually my first video with basic equipment, actually using Windows Movie Maker as my software, considering it's free and I'm broken. So with all that crap out of the way, let's just get started and let's get right into it. Okay, this is one of my properties. I have 5 to be exact, all of which are 10-car garages, so yeah, I have a pretty big collection, and I consider this garage to be like my daily driver garage and whatnot. Now, I want to mention that all the vehicles that I'm showcasing I have built to look like real-life counterparts, and I'll show you why. Okay, first vehicle into the bunch is my Vapid Dominator, which everyone already knows is modeled after a Mustang, 2005 to 09. Now, I built this one to kind of look like Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds, blended with a Roush Stage 3 build. It's moderately built. It's basically one of the neglected muscle cars you're able to see in the game, but other than that, that's it. Next in the garage is my Vapid Bullet. I consider it one of the most neglected supercars in the game. Now, I went with basically a GT40 build with the light blue, sunrise orange, the 6-spoke wheels, made it look like a classic GT40, and I like the way it turned out, and it's kind of one of my favorite supercars. Next up is my Bravado Banshee 900R. Now, everyone knows that it's modeled after a Viper, and this is my attempt to make it look like the Mopar Performance Viper race car slash ACRX, whatever you'd like to call it. And I like the way it turned out. I mean, I also made it really fast, and that's basically the whole point of a Viper. Now moving on to one of my oddball vehicles. Now this is the Bravado Yuga, which is modeled after a late 90s, early 2000s Dodge Ram van. And now, it's funny about this van is actually in Japan, they actually have an event called D-Van Grand Prix. Go ahead and check it out on YouTube. And that's basically what I built this van to look like, something that you would see in those race events. Now we have my Coil Brawler, and for those that don't know, in real life this vehicle is based off of the Rally Fighter manufactured by a small company called Local Motors in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, if you actually research this vehicle, it has actually got variants that are modeled after what I built this one to look like, and which I thought was pretty cool. The way the guards came out, spare wheel and tire on the top, etc, etc. I just love the way this car looks. Moving on to my Class A Granger. Now this is basically my unaltered, bone stock, plain Jane vehicle, just short of just the chrome wheels that I added to it, just to make it look like a real-life Suburban or a GMC Yukon XL. I mean, the headlights do resemble that belong on a GMC Sierra, like a 2008 to 2013. I mean, other than that, I mean, it's just something that I would drive around just to be boring. Moving on to motorcycles. Now here's my Dinka Akuma, which I believe is modeled after a Buell XP series. It's the only sport bike I have ever bought, and I modified the crap out of this to be fast, really quick. Now the engine sound, I will note, it sounds and looks like an actual 4-cylinder as opposed to real-life Buells. Unless it's a Buell Blast, they run V-twin motors. Moving on to my cruiser motorcycles. Now here's the Western Damon. Now, Western Motorcycle Company, Harley Davidson, you get the idea. Now, when it comes to this motorcycle, I believe it could be a Sportster, it could be a Street Bob, could be a Dyna. It's really hard to tell, but I just basically kept it a unaltered cruiser. That's something you'd see out of like Sons of Anarchy or something. Now moving on to my favorite cruiser slash touring bike, the Western Bagger. Now, I believe it's modeled after a Road Glide Sport by Harley Davidson. I mean, just looking at the front fairing, it's pretty close. I gave it the nice orange paint job with metallic and green pearlescent chrome wheels. I just love this bike in general. And last but certainly not least in this garage is the Western Sovereign. Now, I believe it's definitely modeled after a Harley Davidson Road King. And it's definitely a patronized Road King. It also might have the CVO influences on the front end. The only add-ons I added to this bike was the white wall tires and the chrome spoke wheels, just to give it that classic look. But other than that, that's about it for this cruiser. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps it up for this garage here in the Vinewood Hills at my Stilt home. Now this is just one of 5 garages that I have, so I still have yet to show you the other 4 in this mini-series that I've created. So now I will add about the vehicles that I have created that I kept them basically as mellow as possible. I mean, I like simplicity, so whenever I see in another online session other vehicles that are just out of this world, yeah, when it comes to the car culture, yeah, different is cool, but in some cases it's just bad. So anyways, if you had enjoyed this video, a like rating would be awesome, and if you have any comments to share, please share them. I love to hear your feedback. So other than that, I will see you guys in the next video sometime soon.